Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. This is GTR, Geek Tavern Radio. This is Dax, and I'm joined with
Mike Bundy.
And wow, we had a spectacular week this past week. It was February 13th, is what a lot of you and others have predicted. We had Nintendo drop a Nintendo Direct on us, and I think it was one of the better ones, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's kind of been the the feeling amongst everybody that's a Nintendo fan. Everybody was ranting and raving about it. We can get it. I guess I'll give my opinion of it right now. Like, it was good. In fact, I'll go into specifics because I don't care. This is our show. We do what we want. It opened amazingly, and it closed amazingly. And literally everything in between, I give no cares about.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. And before you go and elaborate, I mean, we talked last week, and we had brought up the possibility how the 3DS might be dying, or it has died. And I think this Nintendo Direct more so did it because, well, there wasn't anything on the 3DS, was there?
No, there wasn't a single 3DS game, which I think is good. I mean, I understand there's a lot of people still playing the 3DS and whatnot, but I think it's run its course. Somebody that really enjoyed the announcement of, as everybody knows, Zelda, Link's Awakening. Brian Altano from IGN, I'll just name drop him. No big deal. But like, he was saying on their podcast that, like, he is so happy that this came to the Switch and not to the 3DS, because the 3DS is just, it at this point is just underpowered. Like, things have to just not look as good as they could, like, for Switch and whatnot. So, like, I think it's good that we're at the point where 3DS is just, it's probably done, and it's for the best. I mean, it's a great console, like I said, but I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, I really think at this point, if they were just to put this on the 3DS, again, you make more of these games that you can just, again, put on your premium, portable gaming console, that being the Switch. For them to, if they were to make a Link's Awakening for 3DS, it would just cause division. And a lot of people who have a 3DS would more so probably just be like, well, why is it this, just on the Switch rather than the 3DS?
And if they were to make, as Brian Altano also said, if they were to make it for both 3DS and Switch, fine. But it's just the fact that if it was only on 3DS, like, it's really just not good.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually an interesting thing now. If instead they would have made it for both, because the whole thing is, well, would they be making more money? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, there's definitely people out there who have a 3DS, but they still don't have a Switch. Maybe they aren't sold on a Switch yet. I mean, there are people who have bought Switches just to play Breath of the Wild, and then they got rid of it.
Yeah, I work with a guy. He was telling me, I was like, hey, I've seen you play your Switch, every once in a while. And he's like, yeah, I play it on lunch every day. And that's kind of my time to play it. And maybe when my girlfriend goes to bed, he said. And so he don't play like all that much, but he said he just finished Breath of the Wild, and he's about halfway through Mario Odyssey. And I just thought it was very interesting that there are people out there that are still just now experiencing those games. But I mean, people aren't exactly always sold right away. So
no, they definitely aren't. So with that said, speaking of being sold, for the very little that we've seen of this game, I mean, from the beginning trailer to the actual gameplay footage that we've seen, are you sold on this game, Mike Bundy?
Are we still talking about Zelda?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so we're just, all right, this is our show. We go in whatever, or whatever sequence we want to. Yeah, so we'll start with Zelda. when it started, I'm like, ooh, I like this animation. You know,
Mm-hmm.
It was very anime-esque.
Yep.
And when the first clip you see, I'm so excited. I'm already stuttering over my words. First clip you see of Link is like kind of his like lower body. So you're like, oh, I think that's Link, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then it pans out and it shows like his front, like his face and everything. And you're like, ooh, that's an interesting, animation of Link. And all the live reactions that I've seen, they're like, oh, no, it isn't. Like, they knew right away just because how Link was designed, what game it was from, which I really didn't. I mean, I was like, ooh, what's this? Like, I didn't think we were going to get like a brand new, Zelda game, but I mean, I didn't know. But anyway, it keeps on going, and it shows, it pans out, and the island starts coming clear. And even at that point, I was like, that looks familiar, but I could not tell you what that is.
Yeah.
But once, like, I saw Link kind of floating there, I'm like, oh, okay. And then obviously on screen it shows, Zelda, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, blah blah.
Yep. Shows like the gameplay.
Yeah, then it cuts into gameplay. That's just a whole nother mind-blowing experience for me. I guess I'll have to share my story here. Back on Game Boy, this was actually a Zelda game I had. But I never counted it as like, oh, I've played a Zelda game. Like, because it was a handheld. It wasn't exactly the same experience, I wouldn't say. I guess it's arguably the same experience as like the original Zelda on NES, but in the sense of like 3D Zelda, obviously I had never done that until Zelda Breath of the Wild, like I've said on here a bunch of times. But I did have this game as a kid, so like there was some nostalgia for me. Like they went over to that patch of grass and did the thing where you charge your sword up and then you spin.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do that, like exactly in that spot that they did it.
Yeah.
Like I remember cutting down that whole patch of grass because I thought it was so cool that you were able to do that.
Yep.
So that for me, I was like, oh my God, this is already super nostalgic for me. For some reason, I never got far on this game. Once you have to go up into the forest area, I think you have to do something specific to get past the owl area that they showed. Like you have to do a mission for him or something. I can't remember.
It's been a while for me as well.
Yeah, but I just remember like I never understood what was going on, so I never really progressed in this game. So I'm really excited to hopefully now have a better understanding of what I'm doing, and be able to play this game thoroughly. But I don't know if you saw I shared some screenshots in our Discord.
I did see that.
Yeah, so I found these screenshot comparisons of the new game and the old game that like they took from obviously the video. But yeah, man, it's so mind-blowingly good. I just can't wait. I mean, I don't even know when it's going to come because it's just said 2019. But
yeah, I mean, as for me, I think the way that they open this with the animation or the anime cinematic, of him going through a storm before he wrecks and drifts upon shore. I thought that was really awesome. I'm really hoping that we have cutscenes in this game that are just like that. That'd be really cool. That'd be that'd be really awesome because that's something about the Zelda games is only very few Zelda games ever utilize cutscenes, and if they do, it's always very short.
I was going to say Breath of the Wild was even like they weren't long.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. It was just something just very short. I mean, everybody. I mean, we all know how I feel about the Calamity Ganon battle for Breath of the Wild, and that was the most unepic thing. And I'll tell you what, they could have probably used a good cinematic cutscene there. However, going back on topic, this game, it looks beautiful. I think the best word to describe the graphics in this game, I was watching RGT85 again on YouTube, and the word was crisp. And as I hear him and I go back and I actually watch the trailer of the gameplay again, it is that. The graphics are so crisp. It's so crisp that in this game, when you see Link on top of, it's some building, I believe it's Zelda's castle, you can actually see the shadow of, so you can tell where the sun is and where the rays are going in direction, and the shadows coming off of like the top of the towers and everything. So like they paid that much of attention to, the shadows. Now, are they going to, go crazy with it? And will the sun actually, is there going to be a night and day in this game? Because there wasn't a night and day in, the old version, obviously. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be a really cool introduction if they did have night and day in this game. And maybe, since this is a reimagining of the game, that maybe different and new enemies would pop up in the night versus the daytime.
I may be misremembering this, but I feel like there was a night and day. Because I feel like as you were describing that, I was almost having flashbacks of playing it, and I feel like I remember going to the beach at night. I don't know why I'm remembering that, but I feel like I am.
And see, what would represent night on an old Game Boy? You know what I mean?
I mean, I had the Game Boy Color version.
Oh, okay.
Because there was Link's Awakening DX or whatever, and that was a Game Boy Color version. So I correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, but that's what I feel like. I remember it right now. I don't know.
Please correct me if I'm wrong too.
I don't know.
There's two more things I want to bring up about this game.
Okay.
A lot of people are not they do like the style, the art, the art style. However, they don't like the art style of Link himself. Okay. They feel that maybe he's too cute. I wanted your words on that. Your thoughts.
I mean, I'm not. I'm not in the group of I don't want my Link to be cute or whatever. I don't understand.
Well, see, I mean, I understand that this game is representing, obviously, the original. So they had to keep that concept in terms of a pseudo, 3D top-down bird's view game.
Yeah,
just the original. I really don't know. I mean, with the art style overall, I really don't know if they could have changed anything. The thing that really strikes people is, everybody says it's Link a Funko Pop because the black beady eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did hear that, and I kind of chuckled at that because I think Funko Pops are cool. But
yeah. Now, with the fact of the game style and how Link looks, all right, because, we saw this type of art style on a recent, well, not a recent, but the most recent Zelda game, and that was A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS. And that was a $40 game, and that game was, I won't say super long, but it was a long game. It was well worth your $40. And being that this game reminds you of that because of the art style and because of the gameplay restrictions versus a game like Breath of the Wild, which is at a $60 price point even to this day. Do you see this being a $60 game?
I think it will be a full release price. Yes.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Because I mean, it's a from bottom to top, full remake. It's not like the HD ports where you can argue like, why are these full price? Like this is a brand new from bottom to top game built, but it's just a reimagining, kind of like your Resident Evil 2. Was that full price? I don't even know.
Yeah, and deservingly so.
Yeah, so I think the same argument can go for this. Like, it'll be worth it, and I think it will be full price.
In all honesty, I hope it isn't. I hope Nintendo. I mean, and again, I could be wrong, and this is where I want to leave this game off because we got to move on, but I hope Nintendo can realize, and they have to, they can't be so stubborn to see this, but I would really like them to be transparent and identify, even with us, that they identify that, hey, we understand that this game isn't like Breath of the Wild, where you're in this super massive world and you can just do many, many things. And yeah, there are some limitations to this game because of the mechanics of the game and the functions of the game, how it's played, etc. So this is coming at you at a $45 price point. I wouldn't mind seeing that. And again, I think that shows that they'd be honest, but who knows, maybe because of this reimagining of this game, maybe they're going to add a lot more to it that we don't know. And
right.
In the months to come, I think we'll learn that. I think we'll learn more at E3. And Mike Bundy, real quick, if you were to guess the month that this comes out, what would it be?
That is actually something I haven't really thought about since it was announced. Because there's no way it's a late year game, because we got like Pokemon, which is going to be a huge title because I believe it's going to be way more mind blowing than Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Animal Crossing is also going to be maybe a late game. Don't tell my girlfriend, because she's already mad that it's not even on this direct. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe August or September.
I was saying September, October, and maybe I'm leaning more towards September. Only reason being, I was going to say October, but you bring up a really good point in that being Pokemon and just the inevitability that it's coming out this year. And we know that those games usually come out in November, correct? Yeah. So I would think that because of their marketing, they would probably want to, make this game maybe like a month or two out away from that game. But let's move on, Mike Bundy. What else striked you?
Well, next up, I'm going to go with Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3, which isn't like, it's not a big game where like everybody's talking about it, but it really is a really big deal, I would say, because I mean, when it was announced, it was even a big deal, I think, and it got kind of overshadowed by everything else when it was talked about. But this is a Switch-only game, which the previous two installments, they were on both Xbox and PlayStation. So I just think that it's a much bigger story than like what it's being covered as. But and I mean, this game doesn't it's not aesthetically or visually mind-blowing. The graphics honestly look okay. But
I mean, I think they look better than okay. They're going for more of a cell shade comic book style.
Yeah. I mean, maybe just for the fact that it was shown right after the other thing we still have to talk about, Super Mario Maker, like it was right after. Maybe it's just because of that, and like I had that in my head already. But anyway, like this game's going to be great. They confirmed that there is co-op 4-player, like there was previously on other installments. They talked about how you can be in one room or you can be online playing with anybody.
Great.
So, I mean, it seems like they're doing everything right, gameplay wise. They, for some reason, I think it's because of the movie coming out soon here. They really put an emphasis on Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Which looks nothing like the movie Captain Marvel, but either way, they've talked about her being like the almighty powerful kind of in this game, I guess. Which she's supposed to be like, the most powerful being, which is why, she's coming to probably be an end game and probably be the reason that we fix reality, I guess. But anyway, that's a whole nother podcast. But yeah, I mean, the game looks great, and it's the only place right now where you can play with characters from, the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the X-Men universe.
Yep.
And, stuff like Daredevil, which is on Marvel or on Netflix. Too many words and too many companies. But yeah, it's like the only way to play with all these different characters that, originally were in the same universe, obviously, but with the movie license, it's just a mess. But yeah, I think this game's going to be fun. And it's kind of one where I'm like, if you want to talk about games being full price, like, well, this one could be a $50 one, I think, Yeah,
it could be. I mean, I've always enjoyed the X-Men Legend games, and I've played the first Marvel Alliance game, which was great. Matter of fact, about a year ago or so, we had put our minds together, and I went through with sending Nintendo an actual game idea, and it, being heavily inspired, the gameplay being inspired by, the Marvel Alliance and X-Men Legend games, these RPG top-down 4-player beat-em-ups, but just involving Nintendo characters. So, I mean, for us to even think or, to pitch that to Nintendo, obviously I'm a big fan of these type of games. I think it's been a long time coming. And just like you said, it says a lot that this is exclusively on the Nintendo Switch. I'm looking forward to it. I don't necessarily know how I'm going to feel about, we just got a movie that's based on Thanos and the Black Order. So hopefully, and they're claiming this is an original story. So, I mean, we did see a lot in the trailer. We saw Sentinels. I'm trying to think of some other, I think we saw I can't tell if that's the Green Goblin or if that's one of the Skrulls. We see the Sandman. I mean, there's a lot. So I'm kind of curious how much, across the Marvel universe, like, obviously we're going to be going into the X-Men with the Sentinels and everything. The Black Order, of course, the Avengers. We even see, I don't know if that's like an Ultron, like, giant robot, fused with a Sentinel or something. But I'm curious to see where this is going, and I imagine we'll see more during E3.
Yeah. Pretty much with all of these, we're going to see more during E3. I mean, this one to me, moving on to Super Mario Maker 2, I didn't hear any rumors going in before this that like this was a thing. I mean, I know a bunch of people in the YouTube community, they still play the first one, and they've been wanting the second one for a long time now. But dude, they opened with this, man. Like,
yep.
I mean, you just see Super Mario World on the screen, and you're like, oh, where are they going? And originally I thought they were going with some kind of, Super Mario World port, maybe the long rumored SNES games coming to the online. Thought maybe they're going that route, but no, I mean, they die on those spike guys. I don't know their name. So then, since Mario died, they bring up like the menu to edit the level, and they put a slope in, which is one of the first things that they show that wasn't in Mario Maker 1.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first thing that we noticed that wasn't in the first game. So we're like, is this the second game? But so Mario Maker, they show the slope, and it goes into some other screen captures, which they showed like a tornado thing. That wasn't part of the first one either. So like they're just showing off all these things that weren't part of the first one. And then boom, it's on the screen, Mario Maker 2. And Luigi's there because it's the second game, so there's now 2 of them. But did you have any experience with Mario Maker?
No, I actually haven't at all whatsoever. Like you said, there's a lot of YouTubers that, and we know one of them personally, one of our friends, but they've made and based their foundation of their YouTube channels off of this game alone, and just like it's the best game for interaction with the viewers, people who make the levels for those YouTubers, and then you play them. So I've never even, again, I hardly touched a Wii U. I didn't get it for the 3DS when Super Mario Maker was ported onto there, so I am absolutely new to it. To be honest, I don't even know if I am even going to, have an incentive to get this game. I mean, I like crafting stuff, but I mean, do I really that much? I mean, I didn't even get Minecraft when it came out. People liked Dragon Quest Builders, like any of these building games. And Super Mario Maker is just really unique because Nintendo gives you that power to, again, make your own levels in whatever type of art style across, however many art styles have been implemented into the Super Mario franchise.
Yeah.
But, I mean, were you able to do that in the last one, like how we saw in this, where you could start like playing the level and then, say you died and you noticed that there was a blemish in the concept of the level that you're making, and then you could just change it on the go? Were you able to do that in the last one?
Yeah, I mean that's basically how the whole game works, really. You make a part and you try it out. And you can like move Mario and start in different areas. And so like you can put like hidden stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Like hidden keys for a door. Like, I mean, you just need to go to YouTube and watch some DGR, they call them troll levels.
Yep.
I mean, the amount of creativity that goes into some of these levels, it's mind blowing. I'm not a good level maker. So when this comes out, I primarily plan on basically just playing levels. My plan is to get back into streaming and just play a ton of this. Like whether, I mean, I don't know what game modes, they didn't really specify what all is going to be back.
Well, exactly, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's my next question to you is, I mean, what else can they possibly do to this game, Super Mario Maker, that, what can they have changed? Like, what could they have changed? I mean, a lot of it has to be the same. That's, the whole crafting mechanic is the basis of the game. But really, I don't know. It just bothers me because, like, in my eyes, this type of game, there's no reason unless if, like, there's new mechanics involved somehow, some way. But, like, did they really show anything that different from 1? Like, what is it necessary to even make a Super Mario Maker 2, except for the fact that we know the consumer will buy it?
Yeah, so basically everything they shown actually was stuff that You know, as somebody that never experienced the first one, like you probably didn't catch on, you know.
No.
So I definitely understand your questioning. So like I said, in the first part, it shows the person making a slope. Slopes were not included in the first one. So that was very limiting, actually. Like when you, let me start off with this as well. In the first one, you could make a Mario 1 theme. Like there was different themes for the level, so you could make it look like Mario 1. You could make it look like Mario 3, Super Mario World, and the new Super Mario games, the newest looking ones. And so, I mean, it was only those games. So basically, we're missing everything in Super Mario 2, which I know is technically not, you know, a Mario game. It was a different game reskinned with Mario. But there's a fan base clamoring for that. They want that in the game. They want enemies from those games, which we have yet to see if that's in the game. I'm still hoping that it is. So I'm trying to think of other things they've shown. Like I said, that tornado, which was from Mario 3, that's new. There's a spot where they're running through with Mario and they're hitting a bunch of on and off switches to like make the blocks appear and disappear. That's new. There was a new version of, they call them tracks, like that, where that platform like goes along the track that you make. That style of it was new because it like moved. This is actually a big one that they showed off. There's a bunch of Mario 3D World. Like you can get the cat suit. That's brand new.
Mm-hmm.
They showed like the tree that you can build and get a bell with the suit. I think that's new. I don't remember being able to do that. I didn't really make levels where you played with the new Super Mario Bros. Skin, but I think that's new. So basically everything they showed in that was new. So I think it's safe to say it's worth, you know, them doing a second one. Where they go after this is beyond me, but there was enough missing. Enemy wise, I'm sure there's enemies in that trailer that weren't in the first game. I haven't watched it in a couple days, but I'm sure there's some in there that weren't in there. So I mean, you know, Super Mario Maker 1 was rather limiting. You know, it was the first game. But right now, with this short little trailer, I would say that there's going to be enough new stuff in it that like it's going to be fresh, and it really the slopes, man, like that's a game changer right there for level making. It seems like such a minor thing, but I'm just racking my brain like, yeah, man, there was no slopes in all those levels that I've watched for the last 3 years everybody play. So like it's worth it. I'm so on board with this game. Like, and maybe that's why it killed most of the rest of the direct for me. Because I think about Mario Maker number 1, as we're gonna have to call it now. Just the YouTube community that I myself am a viewer of, like it's amazing to me that we're getting the second one, and potentially I have the opportunity to be in this YouTube community and possibly play these games and be right in the mix with everybody while everybody is making brand new levels, experiencing it all together. Like, I'm so excited for this. It's just exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you should get it. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it, but it's. I don't know. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, as of now,
if you're not a big, like, if you don't like playing classic Mario games, I guess it won't really pertain to you. But I mean, it's just an endless, brand new Mario game. Like, you just go online. One of the game modes in the first one, which I assume will still be here, they had like an easy level, like you would go through and there'd be 10 worlds that you'd play, and it would bring up random ones. So like, you play through those, and it'll only bring up easy ones. And then there was like the medium mode, and then there was like hard, and then there was like, I forget what they called it, expert, I think. And those are like games that have really low clear rates, because, like, you know, if a bunch of people die, it would show you where they die and like stats on the bottom of the level. So like, yeah, I mean, it's just an endless thing. Like, you want to hop on and get a brand new Mario experience. It's just an endless. Honestly, it's a lazy way for Nintendo to have an endless made Mario game, because we make the levels. So like, every time you turn it on, you basically have a brand new Mario game in front of you.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, it's going to be a game that I'm going to be on the fence about. Again, I think I've said this about every game so far. I'm going to wait till E3, and if they can sell me this game at E3, then of course I'll be sure to get it. You have any more games from the Nintendo Direct that caught your eye?
No, I mean, we can briefly talk about, like, they spent way too much time on Fire Emblem, in my opinion. Like, it was just a bunch of nonsense that I did not need to know. Yeah, I
It's safe to say, just by that comment alone, everybody, we are not the biggest Fire Emblem fans.
Yeah, I mean, will I give it a chance? Like, I'm not going to buy it when it's brand new. I might try it down the road if it's, you know, on sale or something, or used or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I think I played one of them. It was Fates. It was like the most recent one for the 3DS. And I mean, I really liked it in the beginning because, again, it was a new type of RPG. But everything just became, I don't know, so repetitive. It felt like you weren't necessarily in control of leveling up. You know, I mean, yeah, your character would upgrade, but a lot of it just seemed nonsensical. Like, you didn't necessarily know why or understand to the extent of why my character is upgrading this much, or why is it upgrading so much less. Like, in a lot of games, when you face weaker enemies, when you're, say, a higher level than that enemy, it's understandable that, you know, of course, you know, that you wouldn't be getting as much, what's the word? Experience. Yeah. And it seemed like it was just I mean, a lot of RPGs are linear, but I don't know. I couldn't explain it. It wasn't pleasing. I would rather, when it comes to RPGs, I'd rather be playing Final Fantasy IX or Final Fantasy VII, which Final Fantasy IX is out now. That's something that they, of course, announced during this Nintendo Direct, only to state that in late March, we will also be getting Final Fantasy VII ported over, which is ridiculous. It's awesome.
Yeah, I actually forgot about the Final Fantasy IX. That's really the only one I've ever played.
Well, yeah, and I mean, a lot of people actually prefer over 7 as iconic, but a lot of people would, you know, stand there and say, well, 9's the better one.
Yeah, there is a lot of people that say it is the better one. So I don't know if I'll. I don't think I'm going to pick that up right away. It's $20.99.
Yep.
Which is worth it. It's kind of steep. I'm in the middle of Kingdom Hearts right now. So I just don't need a very big game to play right now. So I don't think I'll pick it up right away. And one thing I did forget about, which forgive me, which was they showed more Yoshi's Crafted World, which was fine. But they also announced that there was a demo. So that's pretty cool as well. That comes out next month in March. So go grab that demo and try it out.
Yeah, let me find it here. I cannot believe the one game that I've been waiting for the most, and finally they revealed the this game has been kickstarted since 2015. You know a game I'm referring to? Hold on.
Daemon X Machina?
Nah. And see, that's one of the games that I care less about. Did you play the demo?
I downloaded it. I haven't played it yet.
The game that I'm going to just briefly talk about is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, because I am a Castlevania fan, a Metroidvania fan. That'd be why I've played games such as Castlevania and Bloodstained, Dark of the Moon, I believe it was called. But Ritual of the Night finally got a release window, and so it's still vague, but they claim that it's coming out in summer 2019. They actually showed some more gameplay and different mechanics, and I was very pleased from what I saw. I'm kind of curious and hesitant, only being that, it's been a long time, and I believe there was an introduction at some point of another team coming in to help actually finish the game. But again, this game is being led by a former Castlevania series producer, Koji Igarashi. So again, he's the successor of Castlevania. So obviously, and just by the gameplay alone, it reminds you a lot of that Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I can't wait. As of right now, this is the game that I'm most intrigued by, besides Links of Awakening. This is the game that I'm looking forward to the most whenever it releases, supposedly in the summer of this year.
Yeah, that does look good. I don't know. It didn't really hype me up much, but yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Have you played Hollow Knight yet?
I have not.
Shill sold me on that game. He just he pushed it. He's like, you need to play this game. Especially if you are a Metroidvania type of player. And he asked me last night, because I just got it 2 nights ago. I got to play it more yesterday. I defeated one of the first boss, because again, this game is you have some restrictions on where you can go. So I'm, just like Metroid, where you have, or even Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you kind of have to wait till you get maybe new abilities or, to gain access to new areas. But it's a challenging game. It's so beautiful. Everybody, if you haven't played this game, it's either $14.99 or $15.99. And I purchased this mostly through my game coins that I've, acquired through just buying Switch games. And I paid maybe a little over half of it off with just that. And I'm absolutely pleased so far with what I got. The game is gorgeous. Just like Shill said, it feels great. This is one of the best indie games I think I've played so far. And just because of how good it is and how pleased everyone was and just the reviews on it, they also announced during this Nintendo Direct, or no, was it the day after? I forget. But the Hollow Knight sequel.
No, it wasn't Hollow Knight sequel. It was Undertale sequel, I think. You might be thinking of.
Well, hold on. Hollow Knight. Hold on, let me see here. I could have sworn it may have not been towards the Direct, but it was day. See, did you know that the Nintendo, like even the day after they were like putting out like new reveals?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah. Hollow Knight is getting a full sequel. It's called Silk Song. Yeah, check it out. It's nuts. So, I mean, even after, I'm assuming it's because like not everything could fit into the Nintendo Direct, and they just thought maybe 35 minutes was the max time, you know. But Hollow Knight, because it's just well received, the creators have decided to go on and make a full blown sequel to the game.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, Mike Bundy, I mean, is there anything going on this week in terms of playing or anything or buying?
No, there's nothing specifically that I am looking forward to, but I just picked up Sonic Generations on the 360 just because I want to play it. But my week, it's probably going to be full of Destiny 2. We've been playing that pretty hard. So that's pretty much what I'll be playing this week.
Yeah. I think as for me, the new DLC, free DLC, came out for Resident Evil 2, which I have on the PS4. It's called The Ghost Survivors, which I think what happens is you take the position, the roles of 3 different characters: the mayor's daughter, the Kendo guy, Rick Kendo or whatever his name is, of the Kendo gun shop, and I think the third one is the alias named Ghost, which is one of the mercenaries in the game that is aligned with Umbrella and Hunk. Which, of course, you might not recognize Mike Bundy, but that's just one of the Resident Evil characters, one of the iconic characters of that. So I'll probably be playing that, and I'll be playing a lot of Hollow Knight as well. Because, again, that game is just very pleasing. It seems like it's going to be extensive, and it's going to be worth every $15.99 that I paid for. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. And I guess that was our unofficial what are you buying? What are you selling? I'm sorry, merchant.
Yeah, that's all right.
But with that said, everybody, do you have anything else, Mike Bundy?
No, that's all I got on my plate here.
Where can they follow you?
Well, they can find me on Twitter at MikeBundy316, on Instagram at MikeBundy316, and sometimes on YouTube at Geek Tavern Gaming. Where can they find you?
Yeah, and speaking of Geek Tavern, go over to our Discord there. We have a small but growing community of gamers just sharing their love for games, tips, tricks, and just talking about like what they're playing and why they enjoy playing, what they're into.
Yeah.
From there, this part I would cut. Like just after that, because obviously I just had a major brain fart. You can also follow us over on our Twitter page at Geek Tavern. Again, at Geek Tavern. You can follow me, Dax Hastings, at Daximunder. That's DAXIMUNDER. And of course, you can go over to Podbean and just go back through the whole library of our previous episodes. We have a lot of content out there, and we're only looking to provide you, the listeners, more, whether it's you going to work, you sitting down, having a cup of coffee, which I enjoy. That's my preference, my drink preference when it comes to gaming. Whether you're just sitting down, relaxing on the back porch, and you just want us to hum in your ears a little bit, we're very pleased to do so. So thank you for hitting the download button, everybody. Go ahead, spread the word to your friends, and of course, more importantly, go press start. And what else, Mike Bundy?
Keep on gaming.